lot of us have gigs, and sometimes we have to learn music very quickly. Last night I actually had a gig where they threw a lot of new music at me a week beforehand, and a lot of it was bigger repertoire than I normally sing, and I just had to kind of get through it, and I know I pushed last night. So today I'm trying to do some vocal recovery from that experience. So I was using the straw today, and some of the straw exercises felt great, and other ones didn't feel so good because my body's still out of alignment from last night.
Yeah, and so it's really a good example of kind of good, well-intentioned exercise just kind of being, applied in a way that might not be the best for Stephanie's body just the day after she's performed. Because anytime you perform, anytime you're pushing hard, we're going to get more occlusion from the bottom. We're going to get more squeezing. We're going to get more just soreness and, fatigue of the nervous system, everything generally. So the body is going to be more, prone to fatigue and occlude. So one of the key things that we want to consider when we're doing straw exercises, and this could be, after a performance, or this could just be generally, is just making sure that, we're in the proper alignment. Okay. And what I mean specifically is, can we turn the head to the left? Can we turn the head to the right? Can we extend our neck? If we can, if we're stiff, that means that our airway is already going to be in somewhat of an occluded shape. So then when we try to occlude on occlusion, it's almost like we're starting from a position that we're already in. Okay, so that's one consideration. That's one thing that we're going to talk about, is just kind of getting into the proper alignment to get the most out of your straw exercises by establishing the right shape of the airway to do that. Okay, the right alignment of the head and neck. The other one, which I find a lot of value in, is kind of giving you it's kind of working from the bottom up, all right? The straw exercises are fantastic, but they're made even more powerful when we can start to kind of sync the contraction of the pelvic floor, the contraction of the abdominals, and start to kind of incorporate some breathing and core exercises utilizing the straw that I like to have my vocalists, or I've advise my vocalists in the past to perform before they do straw exercises, because it's almost like, we're establishing the foot contact from the ground, the contraction of the pelvic floor from the ground, the contraction of the rib cage from the ground. So then when you start to sing with the, sing with the straw, everything is set up to make you successful and to give you the most out of what you're doing. And so another segment in today's presentation is some core exercises to do just that before you do your straw singing. So really the first step, and the thing that we talked about over the first 2 weeks of our series, is just establishing the optimal alignment of the head and neck so we can get the optimal shape of the airway as we utilize our straw breathing, okay? And so just a really simple exercise that I like a lot and has a lot of value is just what we call a wall plank, okay? And so what I'm gonna do is I'm going to use the straw for this, but I'm going to bend my knees slightly. I'm gonna place my elbows on the wall and sort of push away from the wall as if I'm doing a plank. So what I don't wanna do is this. It's almost as if we're kind of pushing our rib cage back into alignment with our head, okay? And so the way this is gonna work is that I'm going to come into our wall plank. I'm going to breathe in and nod my chin up, so I'm kind of looking up towards the ceiling. I'll feel a stretch sort of the front of my airway, or front of my neck here. As I inhale, and then as I exhale, I'm going to hum and look straight. So it looks like this. I'm going to do that for the first 2 to 3 reps, okay, and then I'll start to utilize the straw. And when I say utilize the straw, we're just doing a nice, soft, very relaxed breath, because it's kind of like a progression from the humming to just a little bit more force put through our semi-occluded position. So we're here. And what I'm looking for here specifically is like a long exhale. I'm gonna say it's like I'm just trying to kind of jostle the dust particles on the wall if they were there. And just a really light exhale to give the wall just a little bit of a caress there, as opposed to blowing hard. And what we should find is that we have a very long exhalation. We should be able to kind of lengthen that out. I might do 3 humming reps, followed by 3 to 5 just long exhales through the straw, and then move into my normal straw breathing exercises. other consideration we want to make with straw breathing is to kind of get the stuff from the ground in play. Okay, when I push through the ground, okay, I send a contraction that goes up through my pelvic floor, that summates through my diaphragm and my rib cage, and ultimately becomes the exhalation that enters my airway. So we want to get sort of everything on board, you know, making our body truly an instrument. And so the way that we can do that, the straw is a great way to do that, because we can exhale through the straw at different rates based upon what we need to do. Okay, and so for example, if I want to sort of, you know, get a lower pitch, and I'm working on that, I'm going to work on exhaling through the straw for a very long period of time in a soft fashion, because that's going to cause my rib cage to stay open longer. That's going to give me a little bit more contraction of my internal obliques and my transverse abdominis. Whereas if I want to occlude more quickly, okay, I'm doing, you know, a quicker jump to a different octave, you know, then I might use just a quick, I might repeat that, okay, because that's going to give me a much different effect. Okay, the beauty of this is that we can do I'm going to show you a couple different positions where we can utilize blocks and squeezing to kind of get everything on board together. All right, so the first exercise that I like for this is just the supine dead bug. Okay, so the supine dead bug, I'm just going to put my back on the ground here. All right, head is supported, squeezing a block between my knees to contract my pelvic floor. I'm going to reach at 90 degrees, which is also going to help to contract my obliques. Okay, and we're going to start with just a long exhale. The way that and again, this is for sort of, again, contracting our deeper abdominal muscles, keeping our rib cage open longer, you know, kind of encouraging that. So I'm going to put the straw in my mouth. I'm going to take a deep breath in through my nose. And then as I exhale, I'm going to give the block a gradual squeeze with my, between my knees here. I'm going to reach with my arms. So it's, pause for 1 to 2 seconds, do the same thing again, okay? Whereas if I'm trying to do very quick jumps, I would do more of a staccato, so it would look like this. Or if I needed to just bear down and squeeze as hard as possible to create, you know, the most force possible in terms of closing my rib cage, I'm just going to blow hard, okay, as if I'm trying to blow out 100 birthday cake candles that are above me. And at the same time, I'm also squeezing the block kind of at a constituent, the same kind of pressure and tension. All right, what I like to do is I can perform that on the ground. I can also do that in a tall kneeling position and just sort of repeat those same things. So as I exhale here, I'm squeezing the block. I'm reaching with my arms, I'm closing everything down. What I'm not doing is kind of going into a crunch-like shape. So I want to stay nice and tall with that, okay? But those two exercises I really like to perform before we do our straw singing, because that's just going to fire up the right things. It's going to be specific to the piece that you may be working on or your particular needs. And it's just going to kind of give you the, I guess, the positional aspect that's going to give you the most out of your straw breathing exercises.